In our last video we looked at the differences between assertiveness, passive behaviour and aggressive behaviour. We talked about how aggressive people come across, the characteristics of aggressive behaviour, same with passive behaviour, and some of the characteristics of assertive behaviour. That's okay to be able to recognise what assertive people do. But what do you do? How can you be assertive? One of the reasons for watching this video obviously is, can I now change my behaviours to be a more assertive person? Now there are certain key things that you need to think about in terms of making the stage from where you are at the moment to now becoming a much more assertive person. First, you have to clarify when to be assertive. In what circumstances is it appropriate to be assertive? Now the slide next to me actually gives some indications or some reasons as to why assertive behaviour, when assertive behaviour should be used. One of the classic ones is when you need to ask somebody to do something for you. Now obviously you need to present your case to somebody so that you're asking them to maybe stop what they're doing and do something for you. When you have to tell somebody to stop doing something that they're doing, now that might be a colleague, it may be a customer, it may be somebody who works for you, but really what you're looking for is to stop somebody's behaviour in relation to something that they're doing. And when you have to challenge somebody's behaviour, something that somebody does, something that somebody says, it may be offensive, it may be funny, but there may be a certain offensive nature to it. In that case, it's sometimes difficult to challenge somebody's behaviour, especially if that person doesn't really mean any harm by it, and they are doing certain things or certain actions which are causing offence, mild or major, to other people. Another way to be assertive is when you have to decline a request or an offer or an invitation. To say to somebody, thank you, but no thank you. Other reasons to be assertive: when you need to ask somebody for a favour, that person gains no gain from your request, so you're asking them to do something for you. When you have to deliver bad news to somebody, something's gone wrong, something's not going to happen, somebody's expecting something, and you have to assertively say to them, well, this is what's going to happen. There may be situations where you feel some of your rights are being infringed, i.e. somebody's doing something in terms of work or in terms of the interactions you have with them, and you feel that that's not right. One of the key things for this though is know what your rights are before you determine that your rights are being infringed, whether it's company policy, contract law, actually even the law itself. But human rights, dignity, these are all the sort of rights we need to clarify sometime before we're being assertive. Last one is when you have a strong opinion that's been ignored. People don't take you seriously. Now you could be a manager and you could be asking your staff to do things, and every time you do they argue with you. It's their job to do it, but they still present some form of argument of why they should, why they shouldn't do that, what you're asking them to do. And sometimes it's quite strong language as well, which you find is disrespectful to you in your position. So these are the classic reasons why somebody should be assertive. And what we need to be able to do is not only look at and clarify why we need to be assertive, but what we need to do to ensure that we are going to be more assertive. It does mean standing up for what you want. It means expressing an opposition to somebody's behaviour. At times it needs courage. You need to be able to position yourself in a more courageous way and to actually demonstrate certain levels of strength. It does mean an intervention, and that can lead to confrontation. Not a word that everybody likes, but the fact is sometimes we have to confront before we can change anything. Now remember, point number 3 is it's not just to gain a win. The factor with a lot of assertive situations is try to get the best result, not necessarily win an argument. And let's now not confuse assertiveness with winning, getting your way. Remember, the other person has a right to be assertive as well, so it doesn't mean that you actually will gain what you want, but at least it gives you the opportunity to express your opinion. And lastly, to be assertive, you always have to put your position forward. Tell somebody what you want. The most classic way of being assertive is to clarify what you want from a situation. Now, as opposed to knowing what you don't want. And there's a lot of situations we know what we don't want, we know what we want the person to stop doing, we know what the person is annoying or frustrating us. But one of the key things for managing a very positive, assertive confrontation, conversation, is before you do, make sure you understand what you want the person to do. Remember, The assertive conversation is only a mechanism to getting what you want. So what happens after the conversation that means that the assertiveness has been successful.